Hey Trisha, so when it comes to the way you look, I mean, for me personally, I have comfort with how I look. I don't necessarily like the way I look, but I don't hate it either. I've kind of reached the point where, in most cases, I just don't give a fuck. Not unless I need to. The only time I actually care about my appearance is when my appearance affects my ability to make money. Like when I'm doing a job interview, then yeah, I'll shave, I'll make sure my hair is combed, I'll make sure to put on a suit or whatever. But on a daily basis, I just don't give two shits about the way I look anymore. But that's but also I wanted to point out the fact that that has nothing to do with me being a guy because I mean people don't understand not everyone understands that sexism runs both ways. Because I think there's a lot of I'm glad that there's a topic going out now that's becoming more and more mainstream about gender bias and how because women they're expected to dress up and look pretty and stuff obviously so I think it's always been kind of assumed that guys just they don't care about how they look but that's not always true. I mean, the way that media portrays men, it gives us this image in our heads. Because, like, me, growing up, I always knew I wouldn't be considered a real man unless I had a six-pack and an 8-incher. Or at least 8 inches, maybe 10, 12, whatever. But, I mean, I would look at the TV and I'd see a guy like Shamar Moore, and I would hate him with so much passion and I would hate myself so much because I'm like, I'm never gonna look like that. I am never going to be as fine as this man is over here. And every girl that I ever meet is going to look at me and wonder, why don't you look like him? And so, I mean, you know how it is when you're in high school, middle school, you're interested in dating. Every time a girl turns you down, or a boy, whatever, you just start going through a list in your head of everything that's wrong with you. And at the top of the list was always the fact that, I don't look good and stuff. And that was a difficult period for me, but one of the things that helped me move on past that was realizing that, number one, in the first place, I just didn't care enough at all. And number two, well, I have a lot of family issues. Me and my relatives are not on good terms by a long shot. And I mean, there's a lot of issues that I have there, and I remember on multiple occasions because my hair, oh, my hair. It's naturally, one side of my family has really thick hair and one side of my family has really curly hair. And so once it gets past an inch out, it just naps. It just curls back in on itself and it's just nappy, nappy, nappy. And so I remember multiple occasions as a child, 8, 9, 10 years old, and we'd be going somewhere, doing something, whatever. Hell, even one time just going to the fucking store to go shopping for groceries, and they would sit me down with a brush or a comb or whatever, and they're just going over my hair, and they didn't hold back at all. I mean, it hurt. They were causing me physical pain, and it felt like they were ripping the hair out of my scalp. And it hurt so much that I would actually cry a few times. And, that pain just kind of sticks with me. And, I never wanted to be the person that cares so much about the way somebody looks that they ignore how they actually feel. Because I'm sitting there thinking wow, my own parents, the people who are supposed to love me and care for me the most, they don't care that they're making me cry. They're sitting there smiling, even though I've got tears in my eyes. They're happy. They're happy that they made me cry. Because at least I don't look ugly, and it doesn't reflect badly on them. Because when your child looks ugly, that makes you look like a horrible parent. There's nothing more important to a parent than making sure your kid looks good. At least those are the messages that I was receiving in those moments. And so, I never wanted to turn out like them. I never wanted to have that kind of mentality. And at the same time, though, I mean, so much of it is ingrained in our culture. So much of it is just, I'm a young man with a lot of hormones running around. And, with you specifically, Trisha, I think on a normal basis, I don't even notice that they're there. But, I do have days where it's even you're just on a table talk and it has nothing to do with anything you're doing or saying, but I'm just oh my god, every time she laughs they jiggle. Please laugh some more. Please, Trisha, laugh. And I mean, it's something that happens. I think we all have those days, especially when you're my age and you've been single as long as I have. But uh, for the most part, like, I just try not to let it. I mean, I notice it. I'd be lying if I said I didn't notice the way that people looked, and I'd be lying if I said that, the way that someone looked didn't make me like rush to a certain judgment and something. But I'm never going to let that be my final judgment. I mean, I can see somebody looks a certain way, and then I'm like, I'll think in my head like, this is someone I shouldn't be associating with, but I won't go out of my way to avoid them because of that thought is in my head. I still try to give everybody an equal chance to either impress me or prove me right, and so. But I mean, I don't even know what the whole point of this video is anymore. I'm just most of the time when I film this, it's train of thought stuff. But I hope you're getting some of the messages I'm trying to say. But like, I mean, it's sad and unfortunate we live in a world where looks do matter. But I never want to be a person who puts looks above everything else. I mean, it's kind of to go back to the whole, like what Martin Luther King says, you don't want to be judged by the color of the skin, but the content of your character. So I don't see how it's any better to judge someone because of like a tattoo or because of the way they dress their hair or because blah blah blah. I mean, I feel that everyone deserves equal chance to be who they are. At the same time though, I do at least understand, like I said, when I have a job interview, shave, brush, dress myself up because I understand that you want to make sure that somebody in a professional environment is willing to do what it takes to, is willing to, be up to the level or whatever. But I mean, you get what I'm saying. But on a normal, daily, everyday basis, it's just like I try to just not care about looks at all, and just in general, because especially I don't care about my looks. I mean, at least not enough that I'm gonna try to do anything about them. And so I just on a daily basis, I don't think at all about what I look, and so I wouldn't want to put that on someone else. Like if I don't care about how I look, I shouldn't care about how other people look. And I don't know. I'm tired. It's been a long day and I'm really hungry. I woke up late, didn't get breakfast, and then there was a whole issue. I didn't get lunch. My thoughts are not organized right now, but I think I got the point across, whatever my point was. Hopefully you get something good out of this. So yeah, I'm just going to turn the camera off and I'm going to eat something, maybe take a nap.